right. Oh, man. It's a little dark today. That's cool. It's ultra black. All right. Let's see how the volume's sounding. Then we got the headphones right. Volume on the headphones. Headphones right. Let me know how the audio sounding. We still trying to work that out. All right. All right. We live from Occupy City Hall. Oh, shit. Yeah, as long as you just be on some cool shit, my man. Yep, go ahead. Just go ahead, grab a water. They over there. Yep, go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah, go ahead, grab a water, man. Yeah, you can get an apple juice. Go ahead. Yeah, for sure, man. Take it easy. For sure, man. Be safe out here. I don't got no money on me, my man. We don't keep no money. All right, my man. Take it easy. Be safe out here. Yep. All right, y'all. Okay. Where was that? Damn, that was crazy. Okay, so we are live from Occupy City Hall. I'm not sure what the day is today. I've been losing track of the days. I'm going to try to be better when we do these lives of having the days. Let me know how the audio sounding in the comments. Like we've been saying for the past couple of weeks, we're going to make a concerted effort to make sure that we're keeping content up on the page. Make a concerted effort to make sure we're coming directly. We're going to make a concerted effort to make sure we're not allowing the narrative to be told through second and third parties or through different media platforms, and we're going to take that responsibility on ourselves to put our own narrative out there. And so that is the reason that we are upping the amount of content that we're releasing and putting out, especially with the spring and the summer coming and city market happening every Friday and different events happening in the city. So this is live from Occupy City Hall. I'm not really sure what all topics I'm going to touch on. I'll name it, whatever topics I touch on afterwards. But as we've been starting off these last three, I want to start this one off the same way, and I want to say to you, this is Denzel Duvant. He was assaulted at the hands of the Rockford Police Department on January 5th, 2021. One of the officers involved in this assaulting him was involved in a shooting 2 months prior. So anybody who's watching this video and needs something to share for the caption, share this video with a hashtag Justice for Denzel. Again, that's Justice for Denzel. If somebody needs something to put in the comments, put a hashtag Justice for Denzel in the comments. So we want to start this live off with saying Justice for Denzel Duvant. This is Jose Gonzalez Jr. Jose Gonzalez Jr. was shot by the Rockford Police Department on October 11th, 2021. The officer who shot him, Owen McGinnis, was named in the lawsuit years prior while on the Rockford Police Department for assaulting someone that he arrested. Hold on, we got some. A little loud. For assaulting someone he arrested. This young man was shot, 19 years old, while he was running away. So if you're going to share this video and you need something to caption it, you can share this video and caption it, Justice for Jose. Justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr. What's up? This is Faustin Guaitigo. Faustin Guaitigo was killed inside of his home by the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies on April 10th, 2021 in Rockford, Illinois, in an unincorporated Winnebago County, which is Rockford, Illinois. Again, we are trying to bring awareness to all of these issues in this area, and just like the Rockford Police Department engages in police terrorism, the Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies have also shown throughout the history of their involvement in this city and in this county that they engage in that same police terrorism. And this is Faustin Guaitigo, who became a victim of that police terrorism. So if you need to share this video and you need something to caption it, share this video and caption it Justice for Faustin. Again, if you need something to type into the comments, you can type into the comments right now, Justice for Faustin. And then the initial reason that we came out here was because Tyrus Jones was shot while he was running away by the Rockford Police Department by Officer Dominic McNeese. And so we want to continue to say justice for Tyrus. And so those are the four people who have been the four people who are the examples of the macroaggressions that have been consistent in this city and in this county. And so we also have down here on the memorials, we have 14 memorials of other victims who were examples of macroaggressions of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. And so for people who may be tuning in or paying attention to these things for the first time, who may be unaware of the reasonings that we are out here outside of City Hall, the reasonings that we are out here is because the part that we, as an organization, the May 30th Alliance, are choosing to play in the struggle to end police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice in the city of Rockford, Illinois, and in the county of Winnebago. The part that we are playing is bringing awareness to the problem, is bringing awareness to the issue with, to give an example of what it is, what our objectives are, and what our goals are. Imagine that you have a family member who has an addiction issue, and before you can get this person to check into rehab, to go into rehab and actually take it seriously, to actually commit to it, you have to make them aware of the problem and all of the side effects that are coming from this problem. You have to make them aware of where the root of this problem lies at, and make them aware of all the side effects that come from that root. Or else every time you send them into rehab, or they go into or decide to try to get rid of the addiction, if they have not truly accepted the fact that they have an issue, have a problem, have an addiction issue, if they have not truly took time to assess the damage that is being done from this issue, you will only get piecemeal change. That, they will only be going into this they will only be trying to clean up their ways to get you to leave them alone. They won't be doing it for themselves. They won't be genuinely doing it. And so the part that we are playing as an organization is we are outside of City Hall in Rockford, Illinois. We are at City Market in Rockford, Illinois, and we are in the process of giving this city an intervention. We are in the process of giving the institutions in the city an intervention, and forcing them not just to say we're going to go into rehab, not to skip the step of saying, yes, we have an issue in this city with police terrorism. Don't just try to skip and jump over and say we got body cams and now everything's fixed. Make aware to the community why you need body cameras. Make aware to the community why you need body cameras. Make aware to the community the reasonings in which these issues have manifested in this manner in this city. And the reasons they need body cameras, if anyone is unaware, is because because they're telling us there's no video footage of Jose Gonzalez Jr. being shot. Because they're telling us that there is no video footage of Denzel Duvant being assaulted and beat while he was handcuffed by multiple officers. And so those are the reasons that these stories and articles about body cameras coming to the city, those are the reasonings in which they need body cameras. But those are the things that they do not want to speak about. They don't want to acknowledge the reasonings. They don't want to acknowledge the root issues, the causes. And they don't want to do those things because they don't genuinely want to fix these things. They want to quiet the noise that's being made about these issues. They want to appease the people who are calling or who are involved in the inside, who are raising, who are bringing these issues up. So again, as I start these videos off, I just want to remind people of the victims who are the examples of the macroaggressions of these issues. Let's see. I want to take some time to say this Friday at 4:00 p.m. We will be partaking in the city market protest at City Market. If anybody who may be watching this and who may be unaware of a place to meet at or a place to find people at, if you come down to City Hall at 4:00, you will find, if you come down right here down in front of City Hall, you will find areas of where we have people at, and it will be people here that can point you to the area of the protest or to the sections that the protest is in. So again, if you don't do nothing else, if you can't find any other place to be at, you come to City Hall, and I guarantee you, once you get to City Hall, 4:00 p.m. on Fridays, you'll know where to excuse me, you'll know where to find people, and you'll know where the protest is going on at. I want to, since I'm bringing up City Market protest, I want to take some time to speak again about the reasonings in which we are at City Market, because I understand that though we do have a certain base who does understand the reasonings and the purposes that we're there at that location. Every time these videos come out, or every day that the page is up, new people are coming and new people are paying attention, and we want to make sure that we are still continuing to be cognizant of that and trying to inform people who may be checking in to be informed. And so the reasonings that we are at the City Market protesting is one. It's multiple layers to it. One layer to it is that we want to raise awareness to the issues of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice to as many people as possible on as regular of a basis as possible. And in Rockford, Illinois, one of the staples of the city is City Market. One of the places where I believe they said the year before the pandemic they had over 100,000 people who attended it altogether throughout the City Market season there. And so that is the reason that we are there. We are there because whether someone agrees with the issue, whether someone disagrees with the issue, whether someone's aware of the issue, whether someone's unaware of the issue, we want to go to the places that people are at to force people to feel a way about these issues. We want to force people to have conversations about these issues, and force people to have dialogues about these issues, and force people to grapple with these issues, and not allow people to escape these things. One of the things that you have seen constantly over these past couple years is the struggle to end police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice has become more dominant in headlines. Are different people saying how they want to be able to, they don't want the people who act in movies to be political, or they don't want athletes to be political, or they don't want to watch ESPN and hear political statements, or they don't want to watch ESPN and hear about some of these issues, or watch TV shows or movies or whatever and hear about these issues, or go to events and hear about these issues. They want to do these things to escape these issues, to get away from these issues. And I think it becomes the responsibility of all of us to not allow that to be something that happens. I 100% understand people feeling as if they want to get away from some of these things. They don't want to continue to be reminded of some of these problems. But these problems and the people who benefit off of these problems, that is what they want. They benefit off of you ignoring the issue. They benefit off of you trying to take time to not pay attention to the issue. The ways that these issues continue to permeate and to become deeper and deeper is that people take time off from paying attention to these issues. They want to get back to business as usual once these uprisings happen, or once these rebellions happen. And that's the same thing that, whether it be somebody who's just tired of seeing protesters on the street, or whether it be people who work for the city and they're just tired of protesters outside of City Hall, whether it be people that's going to City Market and they don't want to hear the sirens or the megaphones. All of these people who just want to escape these issues, just want to escape hearing about these issues, these are the exact people that we have to force to continue to deal with these issues. Because once we to give an example, you don't get to shut off being black. Black women don't get to shut off being black women. Black LGBTQI plus members don't get to shut that off. They don't get to have moments where they get to be away from it. They don't get to have moments where, for 3 hours I'm going to not be black, or for 3 hours I'm going to not be a woman. Or people who are felons don't get to say, well, for 3 hours I'm going to not be felon. These things. These are the things that are with them continuously, and at any moment, at any given moment, there can be some type of cataclysmic happening that changes their entire lives because of the fact that they're black, or because of the fact that they're a woman or a black woman, or because of the fact that they're a felon, or because of the fact that they're a black member of the LGBTQI plus community. And so the same way that they can never escape those things, the same way that all of these people who are disenfranchised and marginalized don't get to just pick and choose when they can deal with their disenfranchisement and marginalizement, we cannot allow people who aren't affected by these issues to pick and choose when these issues are brought to the forefront, or to pick and choose when awareness is made for these issues, or else there will never be awareness brought to them, or else they'll never be to the forefront. The people who aren't directly affected by these things will continuously want to shift the conversation away from them because the uncomfortability that they may feel from the conversation. So that's one reason that we are at City Market, is because there's people there at City Market, and no matter what the demographic of people are, we want to be in the area where people are at to make them come face to face with these issues. Let these motorcycles go by. Okay, now secondly, again, I said, multiple reasons. Secondly, the second reason that we're at City Market is because we were at City Market last year previously, and from being at City Market last year previously, one of the things that was found out, that was witnessed firsthand by community members and activists and protesters and organizers in the May 30th Alliance, is that a portion of this demographic who is going to City Market are people who are racist. A very humongous portion of the people who run the City Market event out there are people who are racist, are white nationalists, are white supremacists, and their ideology and the actions that they took all through last spring and last summer reinforce those things. When we make these claims of people being racist and make these claims of people being white nationalists or white supremacists and engaging in white nationalist and white supremacist ideology and behavior patterns, this is not done from a snapshot image of somebody's actions. This is not done from this is not said from one day of what somebody's done. We have dealt with the people, whether it be Peter Provenzano, Kathy McDermott, Tom McNamara, the police officers who are out there, where Kurt Wisenhan or Theo Glover, Carla Red. We've dealt with all of these people for upwards of 12 months. It's people who we have contact with and who are in the organization, who have understandings of these people past that spectrum of 12 months. We've looked into stories and looked into and researched police reports and news stories that a bunch of these individuals are involved in, and it paints a very specific picture of the type of mindset that the people that we are dealing with have. It paints a very specific picture of the type of ideology that the people that we are dealing with have. So when we make these statements about people, it is not to slander people, or it is not to try to attack people. It is to have a true criticism of these people's actions over the time that this spotlight has been cast on them. And again, this is not done without receipts. There are receipts for all of these things. You can go back and see the videos of the things that took place outside of City Market last year, and then you can go back and look at news stories and see Peter Provenzano not speaking about the horrific terroristic actions of the police department, which he weaponized at City Market. Or here you don't hear Kathy McDermott speaking about women being manhandled by law enforcement outside of City Market or at City Market on her watch and from her cue as she weaponized police officers. You don't see Tom McNamara coming out and speaking about these things or having press conferences and actually coming out and answering questions about the events that are taking place last year. And so that paints a very specific picture about what kind of people that we are dealing with, and what these people believe in, and what these people value, and what's important to these people and what's not important to these people. And so that is another reason why we are at City Market, because not only are we there because there is a plethora of people there, and we want to try to reach as many people as possible on a regular basis as possible. We are also going there because the people who run City Market and have engaged in white supremacist, white nationalist, racist actions and ideology and tactics, and because the people who attend City Market have proven that they are racist, white nationalists, and white supremacists. And if you need reference points for these things, you can go back and watch videos that are on the May 30th Alliance page, or watch episodes of the docuseries We Demand, and you can see how you see each of these things captured, so that way you don't think that this is just something that's being espoused from me or coming from me. You can see these things and witness these things firsthand. So I think that's another reason that we're there. And so those two things, and then the third reason, which is manyfold, within itself is because City Market is what is valuable to the city of Rockford, because City Market is something that is important to the city of Rockford, because City Market is something that is deemed to be profitable from the city of Rockford, and because the city of Rockford gains capital and is earning capital, whether that be capital through profit and through money, or whether that be capital through this effort that they're trying to put out to change the image of Rockford and to not allow people to see what Rockford truly is. These are all things that the city is benefiting off of, specifically from City Market. And so one of the things that you learn early on, if you take the time to look into protesting, one of the things you learn early on when you take the time to look into demonstrations and take the time to look into mass movements and the things that have worked and been beneficial throughout history when it comes to direct actions and when it comes to protest and demonstrations, is that you have to anchor your direct action with some type of economic divestment. You have to understand. We have to understand that since we live in a capitalistic society, and we have to understand since we live in a capitalistic city, that money talks, and so we have to do something which they feel can threaten their bottom line. Because one of the things that we have understood, the reason that the mayor had a press conference after May 30th when property was destroyed, but did not have a press conference after January 5th when Denzel Duvant's body was attempted to be destroyed. The reason he did not have a press conference after Jose Gonzalez Jr.'s body was attempted to be destroyed. The reason he did not have a press conference after Tyrus Jones' body was attempted to be destroyed is because he values the property of white men over the bodies of black and brown people. And so we have to get to a place where we understand what is valued by these institutions, and we aim at the things that are valued by the institutions. If we understand that the city of Rockford does not value the life of Jose Gonzalez Jr., but they value the amount of profits that they can make from City Market, then we have to shift our direct action to City Market to force them to value the life of Jose Gonzalez Jr. or risk not being able to garner that profit from City Market. We have to, if we understand that they care about the image that the city of Rockford gets from City Market being successful, but they don't care about the image of Denzel Duvant's face being assaulted like this by his police department, that we have to attack City Market and force them to deal with the fact that the image of Rockford will be destroyed and altered throughout efforts of direct action at City Market if they do not address the attempted destruction of the body of this young black man and the image of this black man's face. And as we understand those things, and as we educate ourselves to those things and inform ourselves to those things, I think that it will, and I know that it will put us in a position in which we can start to begin to stop allowing, we can get to a place where we can stop seeing things like this happen to Denzel Duvant, because it is not upon us, it's not our fault as citizens that these police officers do these things, that these institutions do these things, that this state-sanctioned violence comes upon us and comes upon our children and our loved ones. And for far too long, that's been a weapon used against us, is this idea that it's your fault that something happened, that if you would have did something differently, then you would have not been assaulted, or you would have not been arrested, or you would have not been shot, or someone would have not been killed. When in truth, it is the responsibility of these institutions. It's supposed to be the responsibilities of these institutions to protect the rights of citizens, to protect the bodies and to protect the livelihoods of citizens. And every time that they do something like this, they fail. Denzel Duvant did not fail in the situation that he had with that police department. The police officers involved in that situation failed. Jose Gonzalez Jr. Did not fail in the situation he was involved in with those police officers. Those police officers failed. And so we have to get to a place where we stop placing the blame on the victims in our city of this police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. And so in order to do that, we have to understand the things that are valued by the city. And so that is the third reason. We are going to City Market, and we are at City Market because the city of Rockford values City Market. And we have to make sure that we are striking at things that are valued by the city. That's the reason that we're outside of City Hall. That's the reason that we're in downtown. Someone asked me, why aren't we outside at one of the police districts? They have stationed the police districts in areas in which everybody there knows the problem with the police. Everybody that is in the area of Police District 1 know what the problem is with Police District 1. Everybody who's in the area of Police District 2 knows what the problem is with Police District 2. Everybody in the area of Police District 3 knows what the problem is of Police District 3. And we're not discouraging people or saying people or organizations or entities should not be putting forth effort to be in those communities or be in those places. I believe that a great portion of the people who view and listen to the things that the May 30th Alliance puts out are from those communities, are from those areas. A great deal of the people that we interact with and deal with are from those communities and are from those areas. But the people that we're trying to get this message across to, the people that we are trying to force awake to these issues, are the people who come to art scene on the weekends, are the people who come to City Market on Fridays, are the people who come to this area, this gentrified area of the city for the gentrified benefits. And so that is the reason that we are here. And again, one of the reasons we're at City Market. So that's 3 reasons that we've went over. I should have been writing all these down. Do I got a pen? I got a pen. All right, I got a pen. Okay, so that's one of the things I'm trying to get better with. We can get better with that together. I get better at trying to deliver the point, getting straight to the point, not giving so much. Sometimes I can be long-winded. So we'll even this out right here. So reason number 1, we are at City Market because there are people at City Market. That makes it real simple, all right? And then reason number 2, we are, what did I say reason number 2 was? See, look, that's why I should have wrote it down. I don't want to say the reasons out of order. I had, the reasons in my head, I was trying to keep them in order. All right, because there are people at City Market is number 1. Reason number 2, reason number 2 is because of the demographic of people. Because of the demographic of people who attend City Market. All right, this ambulance finna be loud. All right, reason number 3 is because the city of Rockford values City Market. Okay. All right. So that's 3 reasons. Reason number 4. Because of the past, I said okay. No, reason number 2, just to make sure because I remember, because of the demographic of the people who attend City Market, and because of the demographic of the people who run City Market. So demographics. All right. Of runners of City Market. Okay. And then reason number 3. Reason number 4, which is, I guess, a little bit of a combination of the top 3 reasons, in a sense, is because of the past actions of City Market. And when we say the past actions of City Market, we are speaking specifically about the pepper spraying of teenagers and children last year, the false arrest of 33 people last year. Some of those people arrested multiple times because of the continued persecution in Winnebago County of protesters from last year, which stems from City Market arrest, and because of the contribution to police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice that City Market engaged in last year. So because of the past actions, of City Market. It's weird that this entity, City Market, it's really a brand. And so that's why it's important that we make sure people know what this brand represents. And that's one way to sum it up too, that we at City Market because of what the brand City Market represents. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Hey, love, I appreciate you, man. For real. Be safe out here. Brother. Hey, okay. Brother drops off something for us. Appreciate that. Love y'all. Okay, and so reason number 4 is because of the past actions of City Market. So right there, that go through 4 reasons, that we are at City Market for people who are unaware, who don't understand. And I maybe write something. I need to write something to make this more poignant. And so again, and then I think, and this is the last thing, which is, it's not really last in reasoning, but to raise awareness to police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice in the city of Rockford, Illinois. Because again, that's one of the problems, is that there are people who may acknowledge, and the mayor of the city has done it himself. He'll acknowledge that police terrorism and mass incarceration and racial injustice is an issue in America, but he won't acknowledge that it's an issue in Rockford specifically. He won't acknowledge that it's an issue of his law enforcement of the city that he is the mayor of. He won't acknowledge that he has engaged in police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice through the actions that him and his administration have taken in the past 12 months against protesters and demonstrators. He won't do those things. And so we have to force people to grapple with the fact that this is not just an issue in America. This is an issue specific. This is an issue in Rockford. What's up with you? Be safe out here. And so that's one of the things that is, becomes our responsibility as an organization. Okay, so that touches on that. That's one of the things that I had I've seen people bringing up, and I've seen people asking and talking about. And again, one of the reasons we want to do these lives, even if we're reiterating things that we've said before, is to make sure that we're not allowing narratives to be shifted. We're not allowing misinformation to get out. We're not allowing people to get storylines from people who are benefit and behooved by painting these protests in a negative light. And also to try to explain to people the reasoning of protests, the reasoning of demonstrations. I think far too often people can tell you that I have a dream speech about Martin Luther King Jr., but they can't tell you about his plans for the Poor People campaign. Far too often people can tell you about the love that exuded from Martin Luther King Jr., but they don't tell you about the tactical genius of the SCLC and Martin Luther King Jr. and how that tactical genius caused the city of Montgomery to lose money through the bus boycotts, caused the city of Birmingham, Alabama, and downtown Birmingham, Alabama, where small businesses were at, to lose money during the campaigns and the demonstrations which they did in 1963. And again, these are all things that we have to get to a place where we understand in history how certain issues have been truly solved, and understanding that no issue in this country has ever been truly solved without, the argument could be made, no issue has ever been truly solved. But there's been no we can't get to a place of trying to solve issues that the city and that the country cannot accept are there. And it is clear through the fact that the vice president that many Democrats in the city and liberals in the city was so proud to have elected into office, she believes we don't live in a racist country. So how can she fix the problem of racism in the country if she doesn't believe the country is racist? And again, that's because she's allowed to say that, because the narrative has now been pushed that these issues don't exist in the country, or these issues don't exist in the nation. And anytime you try to raise awareness to these issues, you are told that you're playing the race card, or you are told to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or you are made to believe that this is an issue that was a problem in the past and has been solved now, and that you should just move on with your life. Meanwhile, if you take a closer look, you'll see that if you are black and brown, if you are poor and working class, that people whose lives mirror yours are being oppressed on a daily basis, not just in this country, but in countries the world over. Are being exploited on a daily basis, not just in this country, in this city, but in countries and cities the world over. And so we should be, I've been trying my best as often as possible to pay attention to some of the struggle going on in Palestine. And the times that I've paid attention to those, things. This car been circling around. I haven't seen this car too many damn times, so it threw me off. But as I see those things and I watch those things, I'm reminded of the importance of us continuing to struggle here. One of the things that's has resonated with me about a week, 7 to 10 days ago, that I've kept in my mind through some of the hard times that I've endured and we've endured these past couple weeks, to keep me going and to keep me inspired and to keep me motivated was a picture that I seen on Instagram where the background was pictures of things going on in Palestine and on the Gaza Strip, and the statement said that these days just about everything is made in China. Then it said ... except for courage, that's made in Palestine. And seeing that, it made me, it gave me a push. It inspired me, to see the things that these people are dealing with, and to see the fight that they're exuding and the struggle that they're exuding, and it made me want to, one day for, somebody I want to see somebody make a post that says, these days, everything is made in China, except for courage. That's made in Rockford, and so I think that it becomes, and I think that's the reason and one of the benefits of social media, when you can find the pros of things, and, it's pros and cons to everything, but that is one of the major pros of social media is on the times when the times that we felt that we were maybe struggling alone here outside of City Hall or in Rockford, Illinois, we could, hey, how you doing? Hey. We can look and we can see that people are struggling with us in different areas. I got somebody just pulled up on a bus and they listening to the Facebook Live, and it's a reminder that we are, even times we may feel alone, that we're not alone, and that it's strength in that collectivism. And just as often as individualism is pushed in this city, and is pushed in this country, and is pushed in this world, we have to also push collectivism, and we have to also remind ourselves that the true power that is in individualism is the fact that a bunch of individuals together can become a collective that changes situations and changes civilizations and changes societies. And I do believe that is what is going on in the city of Rockford. I've told people this multiple times in the last year, and I'll continue to tell people this. I do believe that we are in the beginning stages of ending police terrorism and mass incarceration and racial injustice, at least in the iteration in which it is in now. And again, these things, oppression has been here since the beginning of time, and exploitation has been here since the beginning of time. And so I'm not under no false illusions that we are in the process of ending something that has been around since the beginning of time. But I do believe that we can, that part of our responsibility, if you believe in of us having something like that while being in this existence, is to struggle. Is to struggle against oppression. It's to not allow oppression to be deeper when you leave the earth than it was when you were here. To not allow exploitation to be deeper when you leave the earth than it was when you were here. And so I believe that Rockford, Illinois, is in the process of pulling back 5% of the oppression, or pulling back 5% of the exploitation. And I don't believe you can put a timetable on that. That's been one of the things that has been one of the hardest acceptances in this past month after Jose Gonzalez Jr. And Faustin Guaitigo. The shootings of those things happened. The shootings of both of those young men was how much further we do have to go. And I do believe that it's things that we have there are gains that we have made. I believe they're small gains, but I do believe that there are gains. I do believe that we are positioned better as a city and as a county now to struggle against police terrorism and mass incarceration and racial injustice than we were a year ago. I believe that the actions of organizers and activists and protesters, whether outside the May 30th Alliance and inside the May 30th Alliance, has injected a sense of urgency into the city when it comes to these issues, has injected a sense of urgency into the county and into the state on a greater level when it comes to these issues. And I believe that if that's something that we can do in 12 months, I can't wait to see what we've done in 24 months and what we've done in 36 months and what we've done in 54 months. And as we coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd, I think to myself how, of course, so many people in this city and in this county knew the name of George Floyd. But I think to myself, how many more people now, because of the efforts of everybody, every single individual who came together for a collective goal over the last 12 months, how many more people know the name of Lil Mikey Sago? How many more people know the name of Demetrius Bennett? And more people in this city do know the names because of those actions. How many more people know the names of Mark Barmore, and how many more people know the names of Jasper Banks, and how many more people know the names of Jovan Fresco, and how many more people know the names of Joseph McCormick and Geno Washington, and you know, as we sit here today, a newsletter just came out where 3 more names we spoke about and enlightened people to and highlighted. And you know, one of the things that I need to do and I will do is get a list of each and every name that we have and say those names on each one of these episodes, on each one of these lives, to continue to shed light on these people. You know, we've called them victims, and they have been victimized. They are victims of these institutions. But I think one of the things, and this has been a thing that I've, you know, I don't want to speak out of turn, and I've struggled with this, with whether if this is the proper thing to say or not. But I feel like these people are champions. You know, I think that Demetrius Bennett is a champion. I think of Rockford, Illinois. He's because of what has happened to him, the murder, him being murdered. I believe because of the actions we are taking as a city and as a county, his murder will be 1 less murder or 10 less murders that happen because of what happened to him, because of the power that people will get from the strength of his family and the things that happened to him. And so Mark Barmore, you know, these people are champions of the struggle. The people even the people who have been falsely arrested and assaulted throughout these last 12 months since George Floyd was murdered, and since the struggle for to end police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice has taken on this iteration in the city. The people who have been falsely arrested, those people, they have been victimized, but those people are champions of this struggle. Those people are champions of this city, of this county, because of the sacrifices that they have made and how they have pushed us closer to solving and to addressing these issues. And each person who has been involved in these things has helped to make Rockford a better city, has helped to make Winnebago County a better county. And you know, and I know that history will record that. And again, I believe that what we are doing in this current moment is making history and rewriting history in a sense. Okay. Okay, let me touch on this too. And this is one of the things that we have been trying to get more comfortable with organizationally, and I've been trying to get more comfortable with myself as a role and a part to play. And that is one of the things that we do push very strongly, is the idea that we do all have roles to play, and no one person can tell you what your role is. No organization can even tell you what your role is. You have to find that role within yourself, within your own comforts. And what we've been trying to do is to give opportunities for people to find that role for themselves, and so. But I say that to say that one of the roles that we need, that one of the roles that we are filling in the May 30th Alliance is fundraising. One of the things that we have learned throughout this 12 months, and which is very clear when you are dealing with a capitalistic society, is that it takes capital to fight capital. And I want to point out this too, because I had somebody who somebody who spoke to me recently, and we were having a conversation, and they were telling me about, we had some books here, and they brought up that, you got books down here. I see you got those books. Well, those books cost money. And so in some sense, you have to participate in this system to if you're going to try to force any type of change or any alteration to the system. And I do understand that sentiment and agree with that sentiment in a sense. Because one of the things that we are doing is we do fundraise. We did just have to fundraise and ask people who partook in jobs in some type of manner, or partook into the capitalistic system in some type of manner, to donate those funds, so that way we could, so I could get out of jail, to be bonded out of jail, so that way we could get the book, so that way we could get some of the things that we have. And so what I want to say to that is, what's up, brother? What I want to say to that is, I think it's important that we understand that we are not condemning somebody for doing something to try to get some type of gain or some type of profit. We understand that people have to get gain, and people have to get profit, and people have to participate in a capitalistic system to feed their children, and to feed themselves and clothe themselves, and so on and so forth. I think what we are trying to say is that you can have integrity in the manners in which you engage in that system. And let's say for some reason you have to make some type of compromise, which we all do. We do all have to make compromises. What are you doing with some of the gains that you are getting as you are making those compromises? And I tell people all the time, it's people who have just donated money, and who have not marched, who have not been at City Hall, who have not been at certain demonstrations. But that is them waging the revolution in the manner in which they can. Maybe they have a job, and because of a fear of losing that job, they can't come out and participate, or they can't risk being arrested, but they're willing to donate money to help someone be bonded out of jail. We have to allow them to exist in that manner, and we have to continue to allow opportunity, to continue to try to create opportunities for them to exist on different levels, continue to try to create opportunities for them to find different ways to contribute. And so we aren't downing people who are at City Market for the fact that, or who are vendors, or making food at City Market, for the fact that they are vendors at City Market, and we don't want them to make no money to feed their family, or we don't want them to further their business or further their brand. What we are saying is, what is the cost? What does it benefit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? What is the benefit of furthering the image of your brand, or getting more people to know about your brand, if you're doing it at a place that has weaponized the police against people for trying to bring awareness to police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice? And if you are a minority, and this is something that affects you disproportionately, what does your brand represent? Does your brand represent those minorities? Does your brand represent those people? Because if so, the place that you are working at and working with, whether people don't want to say working at, the place that you are working with in coordination with, they don't value those minorities. They didn't value the minorities who they arrested outside of City Market last year. They didn't value the minorities who people at City Market were trying to bring awareness to. They don't value the freedom of speech of minorities. They don't value the freedom of assembly of minorities. They don't value people coming to assemble and to give freedom of speech about the issues that disproportionately affect the minorities in this city. And so again, what does your brand represent? What do you yourself represent? When you're learning of these things, when you're being told these things, it's not as if these things are being done in the shadow. That is why I do believe it's very important for us to continue to build this platform. And I think that, one of the conversations that we had here today, where, as we often do and we often have organizationally, is we were speaking about trying to get more bodies. And I want to encourage people to please come out on May 30th at Haskell at 3 o'clock. Please come out May 30th at Haskell at 3 o'clock. We're going to continue to push that real heavy. We want people at City Market on Friday, and we want people at May 30th Sunday. Look like it may be a little rainy Friday again, but Sunday is supposed to look clear and bright and sunny. And so please come out to Haskell Park 3 o'clock Sunday. So I just want to say that real quick. But one of the reasons I think it's important that we build this platform, and one of the things we were saying while talking about having a conversation of building the platform, is the importance of also trying to have people in person, real life bodies there in person. And I do think that that is a battle that we are fighting, and we're trying to learn our way around and figure out which things will contribute to community engagement. And I do believe as we continue with these city markets, just like it was last year, more community members will come out and participate in the protest. But I do think that it is important for us to understand, and for people who are watching, who maybe wonder, like, is anything happening? Is this changing? Is this worth anything? Is the bail money that I'm sending worth anything? Or is the efforts that I'm making worth anything? And I do believe that it is. I see that, more people watch these videos regularly. More people engage regularly with the Facebook page and with the Twitter page and the Instagram page. And we have to understand the kind of society we live in and the place we live in. And Rockford itself is not a very social media forward or progressive city. Winnebago County itself is not a very social media progressive county. This is not a very social media progressive place. But a lot of these movements have had seeds planted in social media that have been watered and then grown in the streets and grown in person. And people have been able to, and I think that one of the things, that we've been real focused on this last couple of weeks, and I can speak for myself personally, is trying to get this Twitter thread that we've been working on put together, which starts at day 1 and goes all the way to day 230. I think we have 234, 235 or something like that now. And each one of the tweets just details different things, different events that have happened each day, has pictures and videos and hashtags and GIFs and different things. And, it's entertaining to go through. It's also traumatic to go through. It's also very triggering to go through. And again, I don't say entertaining to try to trivialize the events that are in there. I say entertaining more in the sense of, we live in a society with a short attention span, and a lot of times if something doesn't pop out to people, they don't pay attention to it. A lot of times if something doesn't catch their attention and hold their attention, they won't pay attention to it, or they won't, continue to engage with it. And so one of the things that I do think is good about the thread is that it is very engaging. It does keep you paying attention to it. So I would encourage people who are active on Twitter to please follow the May 30th Alliance on Twitter, and to go through the Twitter thread and allow yourself to become informed that way. We've been they're riding. We've been going through and adding a bunch of videos to our YouTube page. I'm going to go through tonight and title the videos on the YouTube page and make some more playlists to dissect the playlist. But if you're on YouTube and you use YouTube Heavy, please subscribe to the YouTube and go through the videos on YouTube. We'll put a timeline up there on YouTube too, so that way people can pay attention to those things. And you can use that platform to get informed and to get caught up on some of these issues. And the same thing, the Facebook page. If you go through the video portion or the photo portion of the Facebook page, you can go through and you can get caught up on all these things, and you can become informed on all these things. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, man. Have a good day. And so we want to build these platforms up so that way, people worlds over and countries over can see these things that are happening. And, I don't know how many people have read about Ferguson, but one of the things they did in Ferguson is they had a bunch of people bust in from different cities, and different people came in from different countries, similar to what happened in Minneapolis, to participate in the demonstrations and to participate in the struggle that was going on there, and to add strength and to add passion to the struggle that was going on there, and I'm not saying that to say that to down the people that was there needed that or anything like that. I'm just saying I say that to say to add context to the reason that it's important to build a platform, the reason that it's important to get more people to know about the things that's going on here. And very often in the city of Rockford, Illinois, historically, what has been used to continue the subjugation and oppression and exploitation that goes on in this city, and the criminalization, dehumanization, victimization that goes on in this city, is the sweeping under the rug of these events, the keeping contained, the isolation of these events. And I think that for far too long that has happened, and I think that we are in a place now where we are starting to break that glass ceiling. We are starting to see the fruits of this issue the fruits be born, being bared, or whatever, I don't know if I'm saying right, of this issue being pushed into other places, being pushed into other areas. And we've also seen for the last 12 months, we've seen the fact that the city of Rockford has not been able to get away from this issue. We have not allowed the attention span to turn away. We have not allowed a month to go by where this issue is not being addressed, where this issue is not being brought back up. And we haven't had, there's not news cycles going around. There aren't multiple weeks of news cycles where somehow we have not brought this issue to the forefront, and I believe that we have to continue doing that. A lot of people say, and again, I'm gonna just rock out. I think this battery here, I don't know. We'll rock out for a little bit. Once I feel like I'm repeating myself, I'll cut it in. I'll end this one. But a lot of people talk to me a lot about, working with the youth and working with kids. And I applaud everybody who is, directly working with the youth, directly working with kids. I think it's a very admirable thing. I think that I think that is something that we are doing. I think it's something that we are doing. I just think that we are doing it in an indirect way instead of a direct way. I 100% believe that it is young people who watch these videos, whether it be young teenagers or, some of the people that have attended some of these demonstrations are, younger than teenagers. I believe that people who are younger are watching these things, and I believe that they are being empowered by these things. I believe that the generations that are coming up in this city, seeing the protests and seeing these demonstrations that are taking place, seeing the dedication and the determination and the passion that is being put forth towards these issues, I believe that it will challenge the complacency that this city tries to push onto people about these things. I think that we will see a younger generation coming up that has less patience for police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice because of the fact that they're seeing people struggle against this. It seeing people struggle against it and seeing people fight against it. Again, it's one of the reasons why I think it's important for us to vocalize these issues and talk about these issues. And the teaching that we did was very important. And we're going to complete the books that we had on the list for the teaching. And one of the things that I personally want to do is I haven't had a chance, so I want to get back into reading. And I would like to just read on here the times that I'm reading a few times a day, because I do think it is important to sometimes teach by example. I don't again, we try our best to stay away from the word lead or leader because of the negative connotation that society can put on those things, or because of some of the backlash that can come with some of those things. And also in an effort to understand that we don't want to push the narrative of following. We don't want to push the narrative of not challenging things or not being your own, being your own person or having your own beliefs. But we do want to try to encourage the narrative of collectivism. And so I think sometimes maybe the more proper word is, teachers, or people are teaching, and so I say teach by example instead of lead by example. And so I hope that it's people and young people who, and I already know that this is, a fact for people that have seen some of the books that we've read and have went and ordered those books and have read those books. And even though we may not have been able to be hands-on with that young person, we've influenced that young person to go look into this a little bit deeper, or to ask a person who maybe they are hands-on with about these things. I believe we've also had the effect of making people who are of forcing people who are having a more direct interaction with the youth to address these issues with the youth, and ask the youth if they are paying attention to these things, or if they've seen these things, or what their thoughts are about these things. And so and that's just, again, I just wanted to bring that up because that is something that has been touched on and has been brought up and has been said before. And again, the reasons for these lives and the reasons for this constant communication is to cut out middlemen, is to cut out middle platforms, and to come directly to the people, so that way you can hear from the horse's mouth and not have to hear second hand or third hand, or hear broken up in clips on the news station, or read it broken up in clips in the newspaper. And again, we're personally not against being in newspapers or being in the on news stations. Again, we want as many people to be aware of this issue as possible, to be aware, to be made. You do the same thing. Y'all be safe out here. We want to do the same thing, and so So again, that's why I wanted to touch on that. I see some of the comments people have and some of the inboxes we get, some of the things that are said on social media, and so we want to just do an effort and have a concerted effort of addressing as many things as possible as often as possible. But what I really started that going into, and I went off on a tangent, is fundraising. That's what I need to get into. And so one of the roles that we are playing here, and I've played, and multiple of us have played, everybody in the organization has played, is the role of fundraiser. And so I want to continue to remind people, and I think one of the things I'm going to start doing is when we do these lives is just pin the Cash App at the bottom, which I'm sure it'll be people who will have issues with that. But we need funds. It's no reason of sitting here and we're not trying to beat around the bush. There's no type of shame or anything like that. It's been made clear that the weapon that's going to be tried to used against protesters, used against the organization, specifically from past history and from now, is false arrest. And trumped up charges, and so we want to make sure that we have bond money prepared for it to get people out of jail when they are forced to deal with these trumped up charges and these false arrests. One of the things that we want to continue to do too is to build the May 30th Alliance Community Library. One of the things that coming up is at the May 30th event, we're going to have food and drinks, and so we're going to need money for food and for drinks. As we continue to have the city market events, we'll need money for signs, and as people have noticed, to say their name, square memorials are torn down on a regular basis by the racist public works workers, and so we're paying to have these the signs and things like that put back up, the pictures put back up. The same thing goes for multiple different things that we are doing and actions that we are taking. We are using money to do those things, whether it be megaphones or flyers for events, pamphlets. My mind went off. I was trying to make sure I said pamphlets. So what we need people to do is to donate. And so you can go to, hold on, let me see. I think we just got some new business cards in. Hold on, let me pull it out. Oh, that ain't the business card. That's a blunt. Hold on, that's a lighter. Okay. It's a little bit. I didn't mean to bend it up. Dang. All right, we just got new business cards with the updated logo. All right, May 30th Alliance. It's the back of it. So I'm just going. If you are on PayPal, you can send it to us at May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. If you're on Venmo, you can send it to us at May 30th Alliance. Cash App is $sign May 30th Alliance. And again, we're also always down here in person. You can come and donate. It's multiple different people who are here that you can drop money off to. And then also on Tuesdays and on Fridays, at Food Truck Tuesdays and at City Market Fridays, there'll be people that you can donate money to. And so we want to continue to push some of those avenues of donating and fundraising out. And so when I'll do these lives, I will continue to remind people and to ask people to donate and to tell people the places that they can donate at. And then we also want people, which is also on the back of this business card, is to follow us on these social media platforms. And you can find us on Facebook, which you're already here, May 30th Alliance. Please make sure you like the page, follow the page. You can find us on YouTube, May 30th Alliance. Please subscribe to the page. Instagram at May 30th Alliance, and then also on Twitter at May 30th Alliance. And we can also be emailed at any time with any issues, whether it's if it's something that we can lend our platform to bringing attention to, if it's something that questions you have or anything like that, you can email us May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. And so again, we just want to encourage people. What's up, brother? Be safe out here. Love you, brother. What's up? Yeah, I'm on a live on Facebook. I'ma holla at you though. Yeah, be safe out here. We want to encourage people to again, those are all, each one of those things I laid out are different ways in which you contribute, whether that be following us on social media and sharing the things on social media or donating. And so I want to say this too. I don't want to continue to do these lives and have them be, and I guess all of them haven't been that way, but we have done a few of these lives where we've had sort of round these stream of consciousness conversations, and I do want to continue to have these stream of consciousness monologues and conversations. But I want to start centering in on specific issues, on specific topics. So starting tomorrow, because I got this Twitter thread caught up now, my mind is not. I'm a real tunnel vision person. I got this Twitter thread caught up now, so I can at least not focus on that as much. I'm going to start trying to make lives, make videos about specific topics, about specific issues, and take time to dive into those specific topics and those specific issues, and give and talk about the intricacies of all of these different things in an effort to inform people, in an effort to educate people. And I want to tell people this too. We'll start engaging in this more often, but and I think City Market Fridays will be great for this as well, and Food Truck Tuesdays also. We want to encourage people to come out. We want to start having lives, and if people want to come out and have a dialogue on the live, have a conversation on the live, we need to talk to you beforehand. We don't just want people popping up on the live, but you can pop up here in City Hall anytime. Pop up anytime. We have a conversation, have a dialogue anytime. We just don't pop up we ain't putting you on the camera at any time. But if we can have a conversation beforehand and talk beforehand about some of the things that you may want to talk about or may want to have a dialogue about, we want to encourage people to come out and to have those dialogues. We want to get to a place where these conversations become regular occurrences in this city, and so that way when these issues, when these macroaggressions happen, it is not this uncomfortable feeling about talking about them. It is not this tiptoe feeling about talking about them, and also that way they can't be hidden when they happen. I tell people this all the time, and I probably use this example here, but one of the things that we are trying to do, and I believe we are doing, is it's very much like when you have in the effort of raising awareness. One of the things we are doing is very similar to when you have a friend or a loved one or somebody you know in your life who goes out and gets a car, and let's say they get a 2014 Kia Optima, red Kia Optima. You ain't never noticed the 2014 red Kia Optima on the streets of Rockford in your life, but your friend pull up in the car, you ride around with him in the car, y'all have a good day, you listening to music, you telling them good, nice car, congratulating them, telling them be safe. He drop you off, and then tomorrow in the morning, you get up, drive to work, and the first car you at a stoplight next to is a 2014 Kia Optima, and you think it's your friend car. You look over, and it's not. You just and then you go throughout the day, and you see two more 2014 red Kia Optimas. And it's what has happened is not that all of a sudden your friend got this red Kia Optima and everybody else got the same red 2014 Kia Optima. What has happened is now your consciousness has been made aware of this 2014 red Kia Optima because of the connection it now has to your life, because of the experience that you had in it, because it reminds you of something. It makes you think of something. It triggers something in your head when you see it. And so what we are doing down here is we are doing that same thing with the issues of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. So many people drive through the streets and drive through the city and live in the city and don't notice the Jose Gonzalez Jr.'s that are victims of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. They go through the city and they don't notice the Faustin Guaitigos, who are victims of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. They go through the city and they don't notice the Denzel Duvants, who are victims of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. And what we are doing is we are forcing them to see these faces. We are forcing them to hear these names. We are forcing them to hear about these experiences. So that way, when the next ones happen, their attention is raised to it. So that way, when they see the story or in the news about the next person that's Jose Gonzalez Jr., they hear it differently. They pay attention to it. It strikes something in them. And that is the action that we're doing. So that way, and it'll be, and again, because I know that this will happen, and it's unfortunate. It's not something that we want to happen. But the next time a mugshot looks like this, it will be people who notice it when it's shared on Facebook more, or notice it quicker, who will share it quicker because they've been made aware to it. And so that is what we are doing. We want people to pay more attention. Right now, the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force is investigating 3 different events. 2 of them led to our issues which people have lost their lives. And I want to take the time, again, as we go forward in the future, I'm going to take the time to dissect those deeply and give each one of those things the due time and the due attention that they deserve. So I'm not going to do that now, but I'm just going to take notes that we need to. It's one of the things I want to do live. We need to do live on is focusing on those things. And for anybody who may not know, please look into the multiple investigations that the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force is having right now into these 3 different incidents. The first incident being the murder of Faustin Guaitigo, the second incident being the assault of Jose Gonzalez Jr., and the third incident being the death of Raymond Jackson, which is the man who died in the police chase, which they are saying wasn't a police chase, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's see. Okay, so power's on 20% on the phone. I think I'm getting to a place close where I'm repeating myself, and I think that we've touched on all the things that need to be touched on. This ran for a while. A lot of different people was able to tap in. Please share this video. If you're watching it in real time, share it. If you're not watching it in real time, you're watching it later, share it. No matter if you're watching it a week later, a month later, a year later, 5 years later, share it. And as we get out of here, we're going to end it the same way that we started it. We're going to end it with a justice for Denzel Duvant. We're going to end it with a justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr. We're going to end it with a justice for Faustin Guaitigo and a rest in power for Faustin Guaitigo, and a justice for Tyrus Jones. And again, we want justice for all the victims of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice in this city, and in this county, and in this nation. And that is what we are struggling for. We outside. May 30th, Sunday, May 30th, Haskell, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. We outside. I'm going to end it.